What is democracy? In our second installment of the Great Ideas America Gave to the World series, we will take you on a tour of democracy's inner workings, providing you with an essential education for all Americans. If we don't know how our system works, how will we be able to spread it to the rest of the world? But first, a brief history of democracy. Democracy has been around since roughly the dawn of man. Recent findings show that cave walls, such as this one, were not saved for the artistically proficient, but were allotted equally to everyone. Plato, a philosopher, actually wrote about democracy being the second worst form of government. He also believed in a cave. Why did Plato dislike democracy? Well, Plato believed that society should be ruled by a philosopher king. Ironic that a philosopher thought society should be ruled by a philosopher. So, why is democracy so great? Well, let's say that we have two people stranded on a desert island. One is a useless idiot, and the other is a brilliant scientist. Which one of them do you want to make decisions? That's right. You want them to have equal power. Democracy puts everyone on the same playing field without any discrimination whatsoever. What is the media's role in democracy? For that, we turn to Professor Collins. Professor?
Thank you. In a democracy, the free distribution of information and the ability of the media to have free inquiry is necessary. We can see by this chart that with only one news source, information can be manipulated. But in a democracy, the multiple news source gives us accurate and truthful information. How can we see the difference?
I heard you were pulling the expose I wrote on Greenwright. The American public's health is at risk. This article needs to run.
Well, the boss doesn't want it to run, so your article will never see the light of day.
Then I'm going to a different newspaper.
There are no other newspapers.
Then I quit.
Luckily, we don't have that problem in a democracy. Professor Hubbins.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is tyranny? The answer can be found using this scale. We can see by the scale that the opposite of democracy is tyranny. And the further we move away from democracy, the closer we get to tyranny. Tyranny is where power is held absolutely by a small group of people, or, more often than not, one person. In a democracy, power is given to a larger small group of people. Despotism is also opposed to democracy, as is bad, and robocracy. Let's take a look at what a tyrannical dictator would look like.
And that's final, because I'm the boss, and what I say goes.
Sir, I hope you don't mind me saying so, but if we reduce taxes, people would have more money to spend, which would stimulate the economy. Oh!
Now let's take a look at what a leadership in a democracy would look like.
All right. You'll each get your turn to give your equally valued input. I'm going to make sure I hear everyone before I make a thoughtful, well-reasoned decision.
We can thusly see that democracy is better. There is no inequality. The idea that some of us are less than others is absolutely ridiculous. Susie, what are you watching?
Reality television.
That a girl, Susie. That a girl. Education is an important part to any government, and it plays a key role in a tyranny. Let's take a look at what little Susie's education would look like under a tyranny.
Now, Susie, what did you read in the book?
The book said that our courts are always just.
And if you read it in a book, it must be...
True.
Yes, precisely.
But what if he didn't steal the apples? And doesn't castration seem a little harsh?
Well, Susie, since you have decided not to conform, you have left me with no alternative.
There are not many tyrannies in the world today, thanks to the spread of democracy. Today, the number one enemy of democracy is communism. Communism was started by Karl Marx, a Jew. The idea of communism is to put everyone on equal footing, which is completely opposed to democracy. This is Joseph K. He used to live under communism in China. Under this system, communists would steal property, force entrepreneurs to give up their hard-earned money, and turn interstates into highways.
I used to live under communism. It was terrible. I was forced to be intimate with a cow in front of a small group of Hindus. This wasn't because of my action, but it was because my brother openly disagreed with the government in public when he was handing out pamphlets saying that we should oppress Tibet more.
As we can see by the failure of communism, democracy is the greatest form of government on earth. Rather than giving the power to a select few, democracy allows everyone to vote for the lesser of two evils. Why is democracy so great? Because it gives power to the people, and the masses are competent and to be trusted.